All right, so it's super late right now and I have to run to the store. So I made a mistake, and when we came back home from Michigan, our house had no power. So if you watch the vlog, you know that I travel a lot. The one thing that's not automated in our billing is the electric and gas bill. We got back and it was freezing cold in the house, zero power, zero gas. I got home at like midnight and instantly paid the bill. And then it came on this morning. Maureen went to work and I had the 3 kids. We warmed up the house, we started a fire. We just kind of played board games and just kind of got reacclimated to being at home for a minute. But because our power went out, a bunch of our groceries are now spoiled and bad. So I'm heading to the grocery store right now. And I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity. I've been reading up a little bit on how to do a better, I want to get a time lapse with the streaks in it. I've never been able to do one of those at night, and I think I found a way to do it with the GoPro. So I'm going to give that a shot on the way to the grocery store. So here we go. All right, made it to the grocery store. I hope that time lapse turns out. I got to run in here really quick, and then I'm going to go back to the office, and I want to talk about expectation versus reality a little bit today. Okay, so today I want to talk about expectation versus reality. Now, what prompted this topic for me was I kept thinking about it on the way home from Michigan the other day. So when I go on a vacation, which doesn't happen as often as I'd like, but when I do go on a vacation and the whole family's coming, I start to get all these ideas and all these pictures in my head of how I expect it to play out. One time about 5 years ago, my brother was getting married out in California, and my girls were the flower girls, so we had to fly them out to California anyway. We thought, hey, we're in Anaheim, we're right by Disneyland, let's just go. I basically had like this Disney commercial in my brain, like us walking hand in hand, skipping down Main Street, and just having a great time. So when we first got in the park, it was great. It was absolutely wonderful. Mickey came down, the marching band. I'm holding Jovi in my arms, she's waving to Mickey. You got the castle in the background. In my head, I'm like, yeah, we are the best parents in the world right now. You just had the feelings, all the feelings that Disney brings. You just kind of felt like you did it. Like, this is it. This is the moment, and it's happening, and you're in it, and the girls are happy. But that all changed quickly. So I had never been to Disneyland before. Maureen had never been to Disneyland. She'd been to Disney World. So I wasn't familiar with any of the rides. This was my first experience just as much. It was my daughter's first experience. So she wanted to go on a ride, and she saw these little cars, and she said, hey, can we go on the little cars? Can we go on the little cars? So I looked at it. There was no height requirement. There was no warning or age requirement or anything else. So I thought, yeah, let's go on the little cars. Let's go. We get on the little cars, and she is 2 at the time. We got on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Now, for those of you that have never been to Disneyland, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is terrifying. It's a dark ride, but it's all blacklit. There's blacklit paint. There's all these really obscure paintings done. At one point you die, and then there's demons, and it was ridiculous. She's screaming. I mean, she is screaming bloody murder, and I'm just holding her, closing her eyes, just, it'll be over soon, it'll be over soon. Ends up being one of the longest rides, it seemed like, and it was probably just because I want to get out of there with her. We got out of that ride, and that ruined her for the rest of the trip. If there was a ride that was indoors, she was not going to do it. And so the rest of the trip, you kind of look back on it, it's like there were some great moments, don't get me wrong, but the expectation and the images in my head versus the sweatiness and crying and just the chaos of it all kind of got down on myself because it wasn't this perfect picture that I had placed in my head already. I'm working at it, and I challenge you to work at it as well. Try to manage your expectations, because it can really deter you from moving forward on something. I encourage people, dream big, have big aspirations. Before you get to that point, you have to realize the reality of it, which is there's a lot of work that goes into getting to that point. You can set your expectations high, but just remember in the back of your head that there's a lot of work that goes into making those expectations happen. So the point of this vlog is manage your expectations. Be realistic about them, because if you set them way too high, then you're going to be disappointed, and disappointment leads to discouragement. And when you're discouraged, you tend not to do things. So if you're daily vlogging, for example, and you hit upload and you think, man, I'm gonna get thousands and thousands of subscribers overnight. Can that happen? Yeah, it probably could. But in reality, it probably won't. If that's your expectation and you come really short, like say only 5 people subscribe or 3 people subscribe on your first video, you're gonna be pretty hurt, it's gonna discourage you, and you might not even hit record again after that. So when you go into a project, when you go into an adventure, make sure your expectations are within the realm of reality. See, I feel like expectations are different than dreams and goals. Dreams and goals can be as big and as crazy as you want it to be. Expectations are more part of the short-term game. Dreams and goals are the big picture. Expectations are part of what's right in front of you. If you can keep those expectations in line, you'll keep moving forward, and then eventually you can get to those dreams and those goals. So I'm gonna go edit that time-lapse sequence, and I have set my expectations kind of low just in case. It is my first time shooting it in that way, so I wanna make sure my expectations are in check. But I'm gonna go do the edit, and I will see you tomorrow.